Yeah, just a minute. Mm, I have to go to, yeah, first let me go for, yeah. See, in bank interviews, as you must have seen already in my previous videos, the questions will be based on about your native place. For example, what is your native place? What are the crops grown? What are the industries that are there in that place? And who are the important people like MLA, MP, and some famous businessmen? And like, and what are the activities in which your native place is famous? How it is helping our economy or banking, whatever it is. Apart from that, your subject. For example, say in your case, you are an agriculture graduate. So for agriculture graduates, agriculture based questions. And you must, I have already told you, Insight IAS, Insight, I, insightsonindia.com, insightsonindia.com. This is the website. Perhaps, Preeti, you may be aware of, you may be knowing it. And so this is what it is. Similarly, for each subject, you must prepare for the latest news and updates regarding your subject. So for agriculture, normally the questions are, why are you coming to bank as a clerk after studying agriculture? Why did you prefer agriculture as your subject? What did you learn during the project work in that area? So this type of questions will come. And then next will be, say, your uh, banking related. For example, which bank are you having account? Who is the chairman of that bank? What is the difference between that public sector bank and this bank? Uh, like this, the questions will follow. Then questions will be based on what is the job role of your job for which you have applied, and how do you think are you suitable for this job, which qualities you have that matches with this type of questions will come. Then the questions will be based on RBI, its functions, monetary policy committee, repo rate, bank rate, reverse repo rate, standing deposit facility rate, CRR, SLR. Here, invariably in clerical interviews, they will ask you what is the rate. But sometimes, if they are interested, they can ask you, tell me what is repo rate? What is the use of that for by RBI? Like that, they can ask you, which is used for controlling the inflation. So, apart from that, next famous question is, who is the governor of RBI? Sanjay. What is this name now?
Challa
Preeti?
Sri, sir.
No, no, not. I am asking RBI governor.
Sanjay Malhotra.
Correct, correct, correct. Sanjay Malhotra.
Yes.
Because I am used to telling that Shakti Kanta Das for so many years, 2, 3 years. Sanjay Malhotra. Good, excellent. Then there will be a question like, say, name the 4 deputy governors of RBI. All these are given in the link provided to you, that A 2023 interview question. Here you see Sanjay Malhotra. Are you seeing it online? No. Are you seeing it? No.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, are you
Yes,
seeing
sir.
it? Then it's okay. Yeah. Um, Sanjay Malhotra, the deputy governor's name, MD Patro Rajeshwar Rao, T. Rabi Shankar, Janaki Raman Swaminathan is the latest person. And I think recently Rajeshwar Rao was given 1 year extension after his term ended. Now, I have given about Federal Bank. Please prepare like this for your IDBI. Prepare like this for your IDBI bank, not your IDBI, everybody's IDBI bank. Then these are the repo rate, etc. Please go through this. Here, repo, I will tell briefly. Repo rate is the rate at which Reserve Bank of India lends money to commercial banks for short term, normally 14 days to 90 days. And the rate of interest is now 6.5%. This is used as one of the important tools for controlling inflation. As per RBI's um, aims, namely, they want inflation to be 4% plus or minus 2. And the recent inflation is from 6.2, it has come down to 5.8 or 5.98 something. So that it has come down to that in the month of November. So when repo rate is raised, the lending rate to banks will increase. Banks will also increase the lending rate to borrowers. So borrowers will borrow less from the bank. Am I recording or not? Yeah. Um, Borrowers will borrow less from the bank. So the money in circulation will come down. So it will bring down the inflation. Other tools for controlling inflation are, say, like open market operations by increasing by increasing CRR, then by increasing SLR and all that. Recently, CRR was in the news. In the month of December, the Monetary Policy Committee meeting, after that, it was announced CRR, cash reserve ratio, which was 4.5%, has now been reduced to 4% of NDEL, net demand and time liabilities. So, uh, why this has been done? It was felt that the market or the economy is not moving up considerably, and there is need for some measures to activate the economy. So, keeping that in mind, the CRR rate was reduced to 4%. And there is one more rate important known as SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, that is now 18% of NDTL. In the case of CRR, banks have to maintain 4% of their NDTL as balance in their current account with the RBI. But SLR, 18% of NDTL, banks have to maintain in the form of cash or gold or government securities. Invariably, banks resort to keeping it as government securities. That is 18% of NDTL. What is this bank rate? Bank rate is the rate at which a Reserve Bank of India lends money to commercial banks, scheduled commercial banks, for long term, more than 90 days. It is now 6.75%. Now, there is one more marginal standing facility. What is this? That is also 6.75. That is the rate for banks for emergency purposes for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. If it is Friday, it may be for 2 days or 3 days, like that. So that is emergency. Again, all these finances are given based on government securities with the scheduled commercial banks. Now, there is one more point known as standing deposit facility. What is that? This was introduced in the year 2021 when the inflation rate was quite high. And in order to encourage banks to keep their surplus funds with the RBI, this was introduced. This is similar to a reverse repo ratio, whereby banks will keep their surplus funds with the RBI, for which they will be paid this much interest. However, now the situation is not for banks are not having that much surplus funds. So this standing deposit facility is not in vogue, and this can be used by banks only when it is called for by RBI. They cannot go and deposit like a customer what we are doing in banks. So that is one important facility point. Very good. Now, next is what are net demand and time liabilities? See, in this you have demand deposits, savings bank account, and current account. Invariably for executives interview and probationary officer interview, this question is common. What is CASA deposits? CASA means current account and savings account. And what is the CASA ratio of IDBI? Please check up. I think some 40%, or what is the percentage now, Preeti?
48.17, sir, as of
Very good.
December.
Excellent. December has come or September has come? It must be
Sir,
September. It must be September only, because September balance sheet only. December is only yesterday, na? That will come only afterwards. Okay,
okay, sir.
Preeti. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That's right. Now, banks are very keen about having more of CASA, because in current account they are not paying any interest. In savings account they are paying only lesser rate of interest as compared to fixed deposits. So the cost of funds is less, and when such funds are used for lending to borrowers, it will increase the profit of the bank. So banks are keen on having more of CASA. To be frank, in that regard, IDBI Bank is doing well. It is doing much better than other public sector banks also. Normally, other public sector banks have somewhere around 30%, 40% and all. Whereas Federal Bank has 30%. Whereas this is a very good figure. And that is the thing. Next point is fixed deposit. Sorry, time deposit means the fixed deposit and recurring deposit. That is, fixed deposit means you keep a lump sum amount with the bank for minimum 7 days to maximum 10 years, and for which you will be paid interest on quarterly arrears. And at the end of the period, you can take back the money along with the interest and principal. There are deposits known as cumulative deposit, where interest also earns the same rate of interest. And RD is recurring deposit, whereby the same amount is paid every month for a fixed period ranging from 6 months to 10 years, for which the rate of interest is similar to other fixed deposits. At the end of the period, the principal and the interest will be paid to the depositor. If installments are not paid properly, penal charges will be levied. Normally, there are questions: difference between FD and RD, difference between savings bank and current account. Please prepare. Next is RBI. Whenever we go for bank interviews, we must be thorough about the details of the particular bank. RBI, SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, IRDAI, Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. I would suggest you are going to chat GPT and search with that name and make out a paragraph of ideas about RBI. But of course, for RBI, I have given here. For RBI, I have given here the main functions of RBI. See, whenever you are asked to talk about RBI, candidates normally start telling the history and all that. That is not required. Straight away, RBI means you tell the RBI's headquarters is in Mumbai. It has so many branches in the other. How many branches? Please check up all over the country. And the governor is so and so. It has four deputy governors. Its main functions are these. Please go through this and tell that. And next, if you talk in detail for commerce students, they will ask about the say monetary policy committee. So you can search and get to know who are all the members of monetary policy committee. I know governor, deputy governor, Mr. MD Patro, and there are other people appointed by government. So that much may not be expected from you. If you want, you can go through that and get to know the names also. The Monetary Policy Committee meets once in 2 months. The latest committee meeting was held in December, at which time the CRR was reduced. Next meeting will be in February, first week. This is how you have to tell. I have told about inflation rate. SEBI, I have given only very few points here. You can search and get to know what are the functions of SEBI. SEBI is a regulator of stock exchanges like Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, and it is monitoring the functioning of the stock exchange from the angle of the say the consumers or people who invest money in shares. SEBI also gives license to the mutual funds, merchant banking units, and chit funds. These are the functions. And present chairman is Madhabi Puri Bhuj. And if you go to SEBI website, if you get some 2 or 3 points, note it, memorize it, and then tell. Similarly, IRDAI, its headquarters is in Hyderabad. Debashish Panda is the chairman, and its job is to issue license for life insurance companies and general insurance companies. India, we have so many life insurance companies, 24 or so, and so many general insurance, 32 or so. And the recent information about insurance field is government is thinking of introducing a legislation by which they want to make all insurance companies do all types of business like life insurance or general insurance. Life insurance means covering the life risk. A person takes insurance in order to cover the risk. For example, when he takes an insurance for 1 crore rupees by paying the premium, in the event of the death of the insured, the money will be paid to the nominee. There is this question is also famous. They will ask, what is nomination? Who is a nominee? Nomination occurs in the case of bank deposits and insurance policies where the depositor or the insured gives the name of another person to whom the money can be paid in the event of the death of the customer or the insured. Now, there is some news about this also that government is thinking of bringing a legislation by which they want to increase the number of nominees from one. Right now, it is only one to four. Right now, In respect of deposits, insurance, and all, you can nominate only one person. But only in the case of locker accounts, where it is in the name of two people, you can nominate two people as your nominee. So that is an important information about that nomination also. Now, these are sure short questions in any interviews. What do you know about the bank for which you are appearing for interview? Why do you want to join this? What is the difference between a public sector bank and this? See, the public sector bank is one in which the government holds 51% and above shares, 51% and above share capital, whereas private sector is there may be government investment or there may not be government investment also. Right now, we have 12 public sector banks, including State Bank of India and other 11 banks. We have 21 private sector banks. We have 11 small finance banks. We have 43 regional rural banks, 6 payment banks. You must know by searching Google or GPT about say the requirement for small finance banks. That is, you require 200 crores capital for starting small finance banks. You require 100 crores for starting a payment bank. All these details you can, it is good to know, but they may not ask that much in detail. Another point is for agriculture students like Preeti, they may ask, what is an RRB? Can you tell me, Preeti, what is RRB?
It is regional rural bank, mainly focusing on the rural areas, sir.
Can you tell one or two points about that?
Um,
See, actually, right now we have 43 regional rural banks. Government is coming out with a proposal to reduce it to 28 RRBs. One state, one RRB. Right now, we have some states like Karnataka, then Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and all where we have more than one RRB. They are likely to be merged and made into only one RRB per state. RRB's main goal is financial inclusion. This is another favorite question. What is financial inclusion? Financial inclusion means providing banking and insurance services to the poorest of the poor at cheaper rates. With this aim in mind, regional rural banks are started in the villages. These regional rural banks appoint bank correspondents. Nowadays, bank correspondents are there for even public sector banks. And these people go to the villages every one day in a week and they do banking transactions. They take a mini ATM with them, they collect cash, they give cash to the people. So that is what they are doing. This is to achieve financial inclusion. And in order to achieve financial inclusion, government has introduced Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana scheme, under which people can open save accounts without any minimum balance, zero balance accounts. There is some detail about it. Right now, we have more than 48 crore Jan Dhan Yojana accounts with deposit of so many crores. Please check up from Google and get to know that. And apart from this, government has brought Atal Pension Yojana. Atal Pension Yojana is a scheme whereby uh, non-organized sector or unorganized sector workers from the age of 18 to 40, they can open this account and start saving money till their 60th year. And after that, the government will pay the pension of rupees 1,000 to 5,000. Depending on the pension he needs, he has to save money. And this depends on the age of the depositor also. This is Atal Pension Yojana. Another famous scheme for financial inclusion is Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. This is a scheme whereby it is done without any special policy and all. People who have bank accounts, their accounts are debited by banks with rupees 436 per year. The life of the depositor is covered up to rupees 2 lakhs. In case death happens, the nominee will be given this 2 lakhs. And so this is a famous scheme. I think it is run by our LIC. Similarly, there is another famous scheme, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, whereby it is an accidental benefit. The bank collects 20 rupees only per year, and it covers the accidental risk up to 2 lakhs. That is, if the insured dies within that 1 year, the nominee will be given 2 lakhs. And if in the accident, the person loses both hands or both legs, he will be paid 2 lakhs, he will be alive. And if he loses one, he will be paid 1 lakh. See, what is the significance of these schemes? See, for covering 2 lakhs, they are taking only 20 rupees. In fact, it was previously 12 years, now it has been raised to 20 because it was incurring more loss. So, the idea of financial inclusion is to bring people. See, people were not coming to bank because they cannot deposit the basic amount or the minimum amount. From that stage now, the mm, people can open the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana scheme, that is known as Basic Savings Bank Deposit Account. And according to this scheme, people can be given after 6 months overdraft up to rupees 10,000 also. So this is apart from this, other financial inclusion schemes are Pradhan Mantri Vayu Vandana Yojana, that is deposit scheme run by LIC. Suraksha, another one is what is that? Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. This is a deposit scheme run by government in banks and also post offices, whereby the accounts can be opened in the name of children up to the age of 10 years. Per parent, only 2 accounts, that is 2 daughters. Supposing the second issue is twins, they can have 3 accounts. This much detail is not required for you. It is sufficient you say minimum the parent should remit 250 rupees per year, maximum of 1,50,000 per year. And after the girl child attains the age of 18, I'm not sure, 21, the money can be withdrawn for education or for marriage purposes. So these are some of the schemes that are famous for financial inclusion. Next point, 1 minute. Mm, yeah. What are the products of IDBI? You can go to the website of IDBI Bank and get to know the names. I think they have some special deposit schemes and all, 444 days, 555 days, and all that. Please get to know their names only, rate of interest only. Apart from this, they give savings bank, fixed deposit, RD, fixed deposit. They also provide Demat account. Demat accounts are accounts opened by people who are interested in purchasing shares and selling shares to others. Then you can also go through advances. Now, normally, I ask candidates to be for executive level. They will ask only basic names and some broad ideas. For example, jewel loan. Another one is loan against deposit. If you have a fixed deposit, you can take up to 90% of that deposit as loan. That much will do. Actually, there are other details like what is the rate of interest and all that's not related for you. Then jewel loan. Jewel loan is a facility given to the customers by pledging their jewels, not the gold, jewels. So that is one. Next one, car loan. Next one, housing loan. Next one, education loan, then agriculture loan, then infrastructure loan, like that, so many things. Incidentally, you must go through what is priority sector advances, what are it is there in our guidely material, or even if you search in Google, Chat GPT, it will give you a paragraph. Mug up that one. And agriculture candidates, you must know that 18% of the total advances must be given to agriculture. Out of that, some 10% can be given to some, what is that, agriculture allied activities. Agriculture candidates must be thorough with what is Kisan credit card. Kisan credit card is a facility given by banks to farmers depending on the area of land which they are cultivating. They can be owners or they can be tenants. What is the crop they are bringing? Paddy or wheat? I don't know. What are the other things? Depending on that, the limit will be fixed. It depends on the district and the crop, and the limit is granted to the farmers. Nowadays, limits up to 2 lakhs can be granted without any security, but up to 3 lakhs it can be granted, the security being the produce. And the advantage of Kisan credit card is this card is valid for a period of 5 years. The farmer need not put in papers every year. If only he avails he can use this Kisan credit card for buying fertilizers, seeds, labor, and other developmental activities relating to cultivation. It can be used as an ATM card and he can withdraw money. And after the harvest is done, if the money is repaid within a period of 1 year, there will be an interest subvention of 3%, which means actually the rate of interest charged is 7%, out of which 3% is reduced. That means the effective rate of interest is only 4%. But in our country, in majority states, farmers they don't repay properly. It's because they are being guided wrongly by others who say, why are you repaying? Government will waive this loan. So there can be a question for agriculture candidates about loan waiver schemes. What are your views regarding this? Please tell. I go with the view of the government because it is done in the interest of farmers. Because due to various reasons, like say the what is that, floods and drought, etc. The production of cultivation of crops is not adequate, and the selling price is also not adequate for meeting the cost of the cultivation. So farmers are in problem. So it is a good thing. Say like that only. Don't say against it. Then what is para banking? Para banking is banks apart. What is banking? Collect banking means accepting deposits from the public and making advances. Apart from deposit. This banks also do other para banking services like bank assurance and mutual fund collection because they get commission. And yeah, that much is sufficient for this. Apart from that, they also do wealth management advisory services. That means people who have more than 30 lakhs money with them, they will entrust the job of giving suggestion for investment of the monies in shares or government securities depending on their preference, for which bank the customers have to pay commission to the bank. So this commission is known as non-fund based income. Fund based income or interest received on loans. This is another favorite question. What is the source of income for the banks? Banks' main source of income is interest on loans. Apart from that, this para banking income like commissions. So, and how banks make profit? The There is an average cost of deposits incurred by the bank, and there is an average return received from advances and other services. The difference between these two is known as net interest income, and that is contributing for the profit of the banks. Now, the profit will come down if a bank has more of NPA. NPA means non-performing asset. Here, there will be a figure known as GNPA, NNPA, gross NPA, and net NPA. Gross NPA is the total amount that has become non-performing asset. An account is considered as a non-performing asset when the interest or the installment due is not repaid for a period of 90 days or more. In the case of agriculture advances, in the case of short term loan, when the repayment is not happening for two crop periods for short term, for long term advances, like say, what is that, sugar cane and all, one long term, that is 12 months, when it is outstanding, such an account is classified as NPA. And once an account becomes NPA, banks will have to provide funds. That means they will not only take the interest to their income account, they will have to debit their expenditure account in the current quarter towards the NPA. When an account becomes NPA, if it is a secured account, 15% of it has to be provided as by the bank. And if it is an unsecured advance, 25% has to be provided. This is during the first 1 year. During the subsequent years, this rate of interest increases. 15 becomes 25, 25 becomes 40, later on 100, like that and all. So that is known as provision and NPA. What is the GNPA percentage? What is GNPA percentage? Gross non-performing asset of your bank divided by total advances into 100 is GNPA percentage. Subtract provisions, you get net NPA. Divide by total advances into 100, you get NNPA percentage. Get to know what it is for your bank. Then you should also go through what are the awards received by your bank. What are the CSR activities done by your bank? Also go for the definition of what is CSR. A certain percentage of the total profit, say 2%, but there is correct definition means it may require some more particulars that has to be provided by the bank or the company for social welfare activities like education, then health and also scholarships, etc. Please check up your bank is doing which CSR activities from the website. What is the tagline of your bank? What is the vision and mission of your bank? You have to mug it up. This one core values is only in respect of Federal Bank, where they are telling about cares, commitment, agility, something like that. You please go through that. Then about any bank or Exim Bank, when you go for the interview, you must know what is the latest news. And if you can't know about other news, because in some cases, some banks introduce some new schemes. So tell about that. Also, the figures, that is 30th September figures. Then this is the favorite trend. Earlier, they were asking in some banks, what is the five current affair news? I am giving you newspapers. I am giving you current affairs snippets. So before the interview date, at least 1 week before that, I normally actually you can be asked to go through 2 3 months because there is no time for you. At least go through last 7 days or 10 days. Current affairs snippets I am providing, or go through the headlines of one business newspaper, one ordinary newspaper like Times of India, Hindu, or Indian Express. That will do. And if you can know some current affair news about your state, that will be fine. If you can't make it, what I suggest is go to google.co.in and search your state current affairs. From and out of that, take out the latest ones, at least two or three or four or five. Then union ministers list. As any interview, these questions are common. Names of union ministers, names of your state ministers, cabinet ministers, and some details about some happenings in the neighboring states. Sometimes they ask questions. Name five states and their chief ministers, five states and their capital. Very rarely. But IDBI, they will not ask. IDBI, you can go through the figures video I have posted. I have also posted one video about the questions that were asked to a set of candidates. As a PowerPoint, you will see. Go through them also and update your skills. So these are some of the points I thought I can tell you. Now, based on this, any questions you have, please ask. There are a lot of things to be told. For example, you go to what is that guidely dot guidely material. Lot of questions are there. You can be asked or you may not be asked. But remember, based on the answer you are giving, next question will come. So remember to use only those points about which you are thorough. So this is the point I would like to tell you. Now, any other point questions you would like to ask?
Sir, I have questions.
Yeah,
சார் இப்போ ஐபிபிஎஸ் பிஓ இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு, எஸ்பிஐ பிஓ எக்ஸாம்ஸ்லாம் வருது. நீங்க அதுக்கு ட்ரை பண்ணாம ஏன் ஐடிபிஐ ட்ரை பண்றீங்கன்னு கேட்டா என்ன சொல்றதுங்க சார்?
I have written IBPS PO and I am waiting for results. If you have appeared for me, or if you could not clear the prelims, you say I could not clear the prelims. And if I get into IDBI, I will continue to work here and take promotions here only. I will not go to other public sector banks. You have to tell a lie, but tell that happily, that is without any guilt in your mind.
ஓகே சார்.
Yeah, you have to tell that there is no other go. If you are going to say, no, no, sir, I will, this is a favorite question of IDBI. Will you go to public sector banks? Will you go to SBI? If you go to RRB, they will ask the same question. If you go to IBPS, they will ask, will you go to SBI? This is only to test your tolerance limit. Are you able to face negative questions? Are you able to answer such delicate questions properly. So answer them with confidence, no problem.
ஓகே சார்.
And
மெயின்ஸ் கிளியர் பண்ணாலுமே, பிரிலிம்ஸ் கிளியர் பண்ணியிருந்தாலுமே, மெயின்ஸ் குடுத்திருந்தாலுமே நம்ம கிளியர் பண்ணலங்கிற மாதிரி சொல்லிக்கலாமா?
அது சொல்லலாம், தப்பு கிடையாது.
ஓகே.
Here you can tell a lie. Like,
ஓகே.
Ashwatthama. You know what is that Ashwatthama?
நோ சார்.
Anybody knows what is Ashwatthama? Why is that lie very famous in the epics? Mahabharata, in the 18 days war that was taking place, an elephant named Ashwatthama was killed or died. Then it was announced that Ashwatthama has died. Ashwatthama is son of Drona. So that created a tension in the Kauravas group. So there, sometimes you can tell lies. But of course, it depends on the purpose. It should not harm others. Yeah. So now here, this is the guidely material. Are you seeing guidely material now? In this, lot of materials are there. See, you have to go through the 1 minute. I am not able to open OneDrive. Yeah. So this is one thing I have given you, that is subject related questions. For commerce students, you have some questions and also balance sheet. For chemical engineering, for civil engineering, electrical engineering, it is there. But mostly they don't ask from this. They will ask only the type of questions I have already told you. What is the latest trend in your field? Who are the famous people in your field? Something like that they will ask. Please prepare for those questions. And apart from that, guidely material, this is the material. There are so many things. At least go through this bank interview questions. 46 pages, but everything you can't read, but at least go through this. You should know the names of subsidiaries of RBI, DICGC, BRB NMPL, RBI Information Technology, IFTAS, then RBIH. So whatever I have told you is covered here. Just go through this. And if there is not much of a time, go at random, select that question and read. What is initial public offering? Whenever companies want to raise money from the public first time, they go for IPO. It is permitted by SEBI. So that is what it is. Then for people who are dealing in shares, normally they are selected in private sector banks. If you are good in knowing about SEBI, stock market, say what is that, demat accounts and all, it is good. If you don't know, tell them you don't know. So likewise, next question. What is gross domestic product? This question is relevant for economic student and commerce students. So that of course others can also be asked. Nowadays in bank interviews, even engineers are asked about commerce questions. That is, what is balance sheet? What is net profit? Like that. They don't ask a technical question like ratio analysis and all. They do ask questions like what is break even point? Something like that. So please prepare for these questions at random and prepare. Any other doubts, please? Any other doubt? Lakshman, I think you are joined for Exim Bank, na? Lakshman? Lakshman, are you
Yes,
able to
sir.
hear? You are joined for Exim Bank, na?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What is your degree?
I hold the MBA finance degree, sir.
Mhm. Good. Then you go through lot of materials I have given in your Exim Bank interview folder and also the questions that were asked in the previous interviews. Please go through that. For you, mainly questions
Yes,
will be based on export, import, then FEDI, then foreign exchange. What is the foreign exchange reserves now? What are the things Exim Bank is doing? Like that. Please prepare. Okay. And be ready
okay,
to
sir.
face basic banking questions also. Okay.
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
Yeah, yeah. Very good. And now, any other doubts, please? Aparna, you are a new student. Aparna, you are from
Yes,
which?
sir.
You are from which place?
From Kollam, sir, Kerala.
Acha, acha, you are that Kerala candidate. What is the date I have given for your interview?
June 3rd and 4th, sir.
Acha, were you listening from the beginning?
Yes, sir.
Could you understand some
Probably
of? Pardon?
starting I missed it. After
Hmm.
that,
No
I
problem. I
heard.
will post it online. You can see that also. There are so many videos of mine under the Federal Bank interview videos where I would have conducted classes like this. But
Yes, sir.
unfortunately, for want of time, I can't talk to you slowly or step by step. But just listen to them, take down notes, and go through those notes. That will make you a master of this subject. Okay? Aparna. Aparna,
Yes,
you
sir.
ask. Aparna, you ask any doubts you have. Since when are you preparing for bank exams?
Sir, after my graduation, I graduated in 2023.
That's good. So the best answer would have been from 2023 instead of
Yes,
telling after my graduation. So this is like when you go in a bus, you ask for ticket, you give ticket to my place. How the conductor will know what is your place? So in interviews, we should tell briefly and say relevant points correctly. Understand?
yes, sir.
This is the famous story I used to tell. Like Hanuman returned from Sri Lanka, and when he was talking to Rama, he did not tell Rama, Rama, I started flying over the Bay of Bengal or Indian Ocean. I reached Sri Lanka. There is the ruler is Mr. Ravana. He did not tell like that. He simply said, met Sita, because he knows Rama will be very anxious to know about the Sita, about Sita. So likewise in interview, we should tell the correct points first. That correct points, what it is, depends on how you visualize it. So that is an important point. Aparna, any questions?
Okay, sir. I have to prepare well for banking.
Yeah. No, but in your institute, are they covering some banking classes also?
Yes, sir. Basic classes they have given.
What did you learn in those basic classes? Tell us.
Mainly the functions of RBI, then different type of accounts, and
Mm,
then functions of other regulatory bodies.
good.
Basic.
This is very, very nice. Preeti, this is a proper word. Regulatory bodies. They will ask you like this. Name the regulatory bodies. RBI, SEBI,
API.
IRDAI, SIDBI, something like that. Sorry, NABARD, like that. Please search in Google and you will get the answer. Okay. Regulatory bodies. Good. Any other doubt, Aparna?
No, sir.
Good. Your father is only professor, na?
No, sir. Block development officer.
Acha,
Yeah.
acha, acha, acha. Block development officer means I told you what are the see everybody must be prepared about his or her parents' job also. For example, BDO means what are the functions of BDO? Where was he BDO? Is BDO job transferable? Then what are the developmental activities done by him normally? Something like that. They will ask. I don't know which one they will ask. So be ready for such things. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Similarly, for Preeti, farmer's daughter, go and your
Yes,
subject also agriculture. No problem. Prepare well about agriculture exports, imports, and about your district more specially. Okay,
Yes, sir.
good. Any other point, please? Otherwise, I have already shown you the way how you can prepare. It's only your sincere preparation and practice. See, I am making you into a group so that you people will have interaction among yourself, but invariably it doesn't happen because for want of time or due to possessiveness sometimes. So I leave it to you. At least girls, you talk among girls. Boys, you talk among boys who are in that particular group and enrich your knowledge. Thank you. Best
Thank
wishes. I will close today with this. I will have to go for my breakfast. Thank you. Any
Thank you.
1 minute. I wish you all happy New Year.
Same to you,
Happy.
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Best wishes. Bye. Preeti, any doubts?
No, sir. No, sir.
Thank you. Lakshman, any questions? Now, immediate.
No, sir. Thank you.
Please go through newspapers, contents, and all that. Website. Okay. Go through the
Okay, sir.
website of regulatory bodies also. Fine. Thank you. Bye.